This conference will now be recorded.
So, yesterday's class, you're understanding what will happen on the day one of your project start. Okay, so day one, your business analyst has to decide with some structure and they have to log in into this Pega portal and they have to design or they have to create application one, maybe two, maybe three, four accordingly. Okay, so in order to create the application also, here PRPC is asking for some login. So we have to log in here with some master credentials, that is administrator @pega.com and password as install. So now once you click on login button, it will just try to execute one SQL query and it will take us to the respect to Dev Studio, and that will be tagged with one application called Pega Platform. So this is our actual screen where we are supposed to create multiple rules. That is like creating multiple applications. And within that, if you wanted to create something like screen number one, two, three, everything design should happen from here only. As I told you, once you first log in, you'll be finding it like Dev Studio here, and you'll be finding application with the name like Pega Platform, and you'll see Explorer and bottom things, everything. Okay, and the purpose of we logging here is to create one new application, and by this time we are seeing one application which is already existing. As we told you that whatever we see in Pega which is already existing, that is to be called as OOTB, out of the box. So we can understand Pega platform is one OOTB application. Likewise, in our Pega tool, there is almost like 95% OOTB. Suppose if I wanted to send one email, straight away we are having OOTB functionality, just a drag and drop. You can use that. So if you wanted to include some kind of SMS messages, everything. So 95 percentage OOTB part will be there, and on top of it, you are supposed to implement accordingly. Fine. So, and here we understood each and everything is to be called as a rule. Everything, whatever you see. So we can see one application has to be created now. That is also a rule. And within that application, maybe I have to create 10 screens. So designing screen number one, that is also a rule. Within that rule, if I wanted to show first name, last name, each and everything is also is a rule. Okay, so here our application will be processing everything and will get some final output, no, meaning it is processing all the rules and generating some output. So that is the reason this tool is to be called as PRPC tool, meaning Pega rules process commander. Fine. Okay, so it will be processing each and every rule. So now the purpose here is like I have to create framework one and then maybe framework two and then maybe implementation likewise. So to create one application, we understood this is the navigation to be used. So click on that arrow, you'll be getting a screen like create new application. If you click on this, there will be one wizard open where it will be asking for what is the application name and what is the application type. Okay, as we understood, we have to work on three projects. That is insurance project is what we understood already, and second one is like healthcare, and what is the actual one banking related project. So we have seen this project and this project, and these two projects you are supposed to do parallelly whenever we start this one. From this class, from today's class, we'll understand how to create new project, new application. So we'll see how to create something framework for banking, maybe implementation for banking. Okay, and parallelly in the home, you have to practice on this as well as these two also. Meaning three projects should be going from today itself. Okay, so I'll be explaining each and everything on this banking project. You are supposed to parallelly work on those two things. For these two things, you are having recordings as well as the business analyst documentation. So what is there in screen number one in this, you are supposed to implement accordingly. Okay, likewise. So our actual task now is to create something related to banking. That is like, let us maintain one framework application for this banking now, and within this let us maintain one implementation. So consider today we are starting one new bank with the name ABC, and initially I wanted to be only giving for credit cards, maybe some kind of small company where we wanted to start only with the credit cards, meaning only one implementation, right? ABC is our bank and we wanted to go only with the credit cards for today. So meaning only one implementation. So to design this implementation, we'll be creating everything here. Okay. And maybe after 2 years or 3 years, if my organization or if my business is improving, then I might be starting something related to loans as well. Okay, we'll be starting one more thing related to loans. Okay, so when by the time we create this loans application, if we are having something already maintained at framework, the design of this will be easy, no? So point here is, even if we are having single application today, better to maintain with framework, because if you maintain with framework, it will be easy for the future related applications. So Pega license will be very costly. So if an organization is getting that license, that is not meant for developing one single application. It will be for multiple things. Okay. So Pega license depends on two things. Pega license depends on two factors. So if we are ABC organization now, I wanted to get something from Pega license, then Pega systems asks, or Pega system quotes price in two different options. What option you want, that is what. So first one is like, how many users will be using this? So maybe our ABC or consider Citibank employee, Citibank. So within this city organization, how many internal people will be there? So maybe under one branch there might be 100 employees. Likewise, there might be maybe 100 branches in one city, and likewise there will be 100 cities in one state. There might be 20-30 states in country, and there might be 20-30 countries in the world. So how many people will be using this Pega application once you develop? Okay, so Pega license depends upon the number of users. Users meaning internal employees only, no? So how many users will be using this, that will be one option given. And second thing will be like, there will be some fixed amount for the license. So n number of persons can be using this, and again within that, how many customers getting registered. Okay, how many customers getting registered? Suppose if I purchase this Pega license with some a amount of dollars, this will be fixed initially. After that, using this application, using this credit card application, per day I can register for 100 customers, and next day maybe for 1000 customers. So how much of business we are generating within this, meaning how many customers getting registered for your application. Okay, so those things will be also the second factor. So it's up to business what option they wanted to select. Okay, that is the reason the applications what we develop with Pega, these are to be used only for our internal purpose. If you are trying to use this application maybe for railway ticket booking, then just understand how many users like us will log in. Can this organization, can IRCTC management can bear that license cost? Not at all possible. Some millions of users will be logging in, no? Okay, so that is the reason using Pega we will not develop these kind of external websites. So consider something like IRCTC, or consider something like Amazon or Flipkart, whatever. So these applications will not be developed with Pega, because license issues comes into picture, budget issues. Fine. So maybe today we are starting an organization and with only one implementation. Even to develop this one implementation, it is recommended to go with one framework at least. Okay, so we'll be maintaining all the reusable things in this framework, and we can use it from here to here. and after 2 years or 3 years anyway we'll start one more application. By the time our framework is ready, we can use it from there to here. Okay, this is what the thing is. So now in our discussion we will be creating one application related to loans creation. Okay, so if you go for a bank, then if you ask for some kind of a loans registration, then they'll ask you to go to counter number 2, right? So the employee using that application is what we're developing now. Okay, so the employee using that, so something related to loans registration. So what should be there in the screen number 1, maybe in screen number 2 what type of loan, in screen number 3 their EMI interest calculations, maybe in the screen number 4 some kind of manager rejection based on the CIBIL score, these kind of things what we'll understand. So maybe today only one implementation, but better to maintain one framework also, no? So now we have to create one framework application for our banking, and for this framework we have to connect with one implementation. Okay, so if you do these two creation in this today's class, your homework should be you have to do the exact design in the banking project. Parallelly, you have to create one framework for the healthcare and one implementation also for healthcare. What should be the names? I'll tell you. And you have to create one framework for insurance and one implementation also for insurance. So whatever we do on daily class, you are supposed to replicate the same in this second project and maybe in the third project. And parallelly, every one of you should create one more project with the name test. Okay, we'll understand one project discussion in our class. At your home, you have to work with 4 projects. So you have to create one more something related to test framework and test implementation. Okay, so what you have to do in this banking is like whatever we discuss in our class, and within this whatever the video or the documentation I'm giving for this you have to implement, and this also. And what about this one? In our daily class, after we discuss some concept, I'll give you some additional assignments. So those assignments you should not do any experiments in our original banking project. Okay, suppose if I am having something like a screen developed, then after that I might be asking you to change the design, something like show this image to the right side or something to the 50 percentage space, whatever the assignments we give, you should not be disturbing this in our main project. Some people will be doing that, so they'll be getting confused after 1 week or 10 days. So that is the reason day one you have to be learning everything in some systematic manner. So test project is what you have to create, and whatever the assignments or challenges you are supposed to do, everything you have to do experiments on this test project only. Okay, so daily you are supposed to work on these 4 projects. So we'll understand working on this for now. Okay, so our requirement here is to create one loans application actually. And just to make this working perfectly, let us maintain with one framework application also. So to create one application, what we are supposed to do, we have to log in here as an administrator, and you have to use this navigation. If we use this navigation, it will ask for some application name. I'll be giving it like maybe banking framework. What should be its type? Framework only, no? So we'll be giving application name, then we have to give its type also. We'll be giving it type as framework, and just simply click on next, that's it. One application has to be created. So this looks very easy from our front end perspective, but in the back end, as we understood, to create one new application, PRPC has to create a rule for that, right? Everything is a rule, no? So PRPC has to create a rule for the new application what we create, and it has to create with one database table also. Meaning, if I just open our database and check, there should be one new table created, and within the table columns also should be there. Okay, and that table should be again connected to our front end application, lot many things. So creating one application looks very simple, maybe in our discussion or maybe in our front end perspective, but in the back end some hundreds of actions will be there, hundreds of actions will be there. So to create all these things perfectly, what is PRPC doing? It is getting help from Pega platform. So to create one new application successfully, our OOTB Pega platform application is supplying its rules. So this is helping the child application to be created successfully. So can we call this acting like an OOTB framework? So my Pega platform here, it is acting like OOTB framework, right? Okay, fine. So let us understand creating some applications now. Okay, clear, right, everyone? Fine. So for this, we have to give some organization name. So I wanted to start a bank with the name ABC or City or SBI, whatever. So here PRPC will ask what is the organization name, and within that what is the framework name, maybe within that what is the implementation name, all these things it will ask. So let us start something with organization name, maybe like BOI, Bank of India, whatever, Citibank or ICICI, whatever you wanted to. So our client or our organization here is BOI, Bank of India. So consider we all are working in Capgemini company. We got assigned with this client like BOI, okay, Bank of India. Okay. Now, this BOI, Bank of India people, what they will ask us? So initially, this client will ask business analyst to create the application structure. Post that, this application structure will be handed over to developers by creating operator IDs. And business analyst, they will be creating one requirements document and they will be sharing with every one of you. So you have to see screen number 1 and design, screen number 2 and design. Okay, so creating application structure and creating operator ID is just their duty. After that, whatever the business analyst document you got for maybe insurance project or healthcare project, in the same way procedure will be. Okay, fine. Consider this as our, so this as our organization name, and let me maintain with one framework. Let us give it like BOI banking framework. Okay, under this Bank of India there might be banking sector, maybe there might be insurance sector also, no? So for now we are working with banking related things. So let us create one framework application with this name, and for this application there should be one implementation, that is like loan creations. Let us give it like BOI loans, some application with the name BOI loans. So we are understanding these three as the names, and with these names one rule has to be created. For that rule, ID should be there as well as display name also should be there. All these things we'll try to understand. Okay, now our actual develop our actual working will be started. So let us see working with or creating new application, and let us parallelly document that also. So create new FW application. FW is nothing but framework. Requirement here is, so create new framework application and link that with implementation application. Okay. So organization name, what is the organization name here? So organization name, we are considering it like BOI. Okay. And maybe framework name, maybe like BOI banking FW, and maybe implementation name something like BOI loans. Okay, so BOI loans. This is our requirement. So let us check for some solution. So to create first application, you have to log in like an administrator, right? So this is the login page. Log in as administrator. So pass username is administrator@pega.com and password is install. Okay, so creating or making screenshot for each and everything may kill almost like 15 minutes of time. So initially, just to get habituated, we'll try to follow this maybe for 1 week. So if everyone is okay with this, we'll follow the same structure. If not, for each and every class discussion, anyway you are getting recording, and parallelly this documentation is already prepared, maybe with some other name like ABC. Stay same step by step. So if everyone is okay, can able to follow with the recording with the existing document what I share on daily basis, we'll follow that. If that is the case, almost like 15 minutes per day it will be saved for you. Actually, I support that, because we wanted to concentrate more on the class discussion and getting more subject. So spending time on this documentation may not be completely helpful for you. So maybe for 1 week we'll just follow this kind of methodology. So based on that, you people will be habituated to the recordings and these documentations, no? And then we'll again reconsider in our WhatsApp group or based on our discussion. For now, we'll prepare the document. So let us click on login. What you people say? Online people? Shall we prepare document on daily basis?
Ye- Yes.
It will give you a lot of time. Okay, so let me log in now. So now it will be taking us to an application called Pega platform, and to create new application, so create new application using down arrow beside application name. Okay, so you have to use this navigation and you have to select this one. Fine. So you'll be getting an screen from where you have to create new application. So here I'm creating one framework, and this is for first time for this project now, meaning something from zero, something from scratch. You have to select this option. Okay, we are starting a project something from scratch, and in your case, once you start practicing, you'll be getting only this single option. You'll not find the remaining things. Since I have created something more, I'll be getting these options also, but you'll be getting only this one. So you are supposed to select this one, build from scratch something. And I strongly suggest online people not to practice in the class discussion. I know you people will be more enthusiastic in initial days, and whatever the things happening in the class, you people wanted to practice it parallelly. If that is the case, you will be missing lot of concepts, lot of discussion, lot of important points. You might be thinking like recording is there, but you will never follow it again. So I strongly suggest every one of you to concentrate this 1 hour in the class discussion. Post that you have to spend 1 more hour. You people will be thinking like that you are saving 1 hour of time, both having it like practice as well as discussion in this 1 hour itself, which will be like a very big drawback for you that slowly you'll come to know. So I suggest everyone to listen this particular 1 hour, then you have to practice it. Build from scratch is what you have to select. So if you select this, you'll be getting two options. What are those? What type of experience you want this? You want for this application? This is what it is asking. Experience is nothing but some kind of theme. Okay, themes, we know themes, right? Suppose if you just open your mobile phone, there might be one option or one theme related to Republic Day. So if we just select that theme, what will happen? In your mobile phone, each and every option, maybe app logo or icon, whatever, it will be showing something maybe with based on Indian flag or something related to New Year theme, whatever, right? So what is happening? So based on the theme what you select, your screen look and feel is changing, no? But backend data will be same. Okay, if you select a theme, maybe in WhatsApp, your contact names or everything might be showing it in the bold or italic, but backend data will be same, right? Similarly here also, the application what I wanted to create, so that should be selected with some themes. So now I am seeing only two themes here. You not see more than two here. So we can see only two themes. But in the earlier versions of Pega, so this is like 8.7 version, and before this 8.6, before that 8.5. Maybe till 8.5 we got three themes. So the first one what I'm seeing, theme Cosmos, Cosmos React. Two theme names we are seeing. And in the previous versions of Pega, we used to find something like UI kit. UI kit also. This might be third theme. So this theme got removed from 8.6 version, 8.6. Okay, before 8.5, okay, before 8.5, we used to mainly use this UI kit only. Okay, so UI kit is the theme where we are having it from past sixth version, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 7, 7.1, and till 8.5 what we are having is UI kit. So most of the projects today, 90% projects today are still with UI kit, 90%. And if a project which got started maybe from 8.4 version, then people started using this latest one, that is theme Cosmos. Okay, so theme Cosmos or this one, these two got introduced from 8.3 version. Okay, so these two, whatever the things we are seeing here, these two are there from 8.3 version only. Before that, every project must be using UI kit only. Okay, so in your project, what suppose if you join some company, your company will be using some theme, right? And that theme will be decided based on when that project got started. If that project got started in 7.4, 100% UI kit only. And if the project got started maybe on 8.5, they might start with theme Cosmos, or UI kit is also available by that time, they might be starting on that also. But in the latest version, UI kit got removed. Okay, fine. So most used theme today will be theme Cosmos, because in the theme Cosmos, each and everything, okay, each and everything styling got changed, styles got changed. But whereas in the Cosmos React, so there is one, actually there will be one important concept called case management. Most of you might have came across this word. So in our entire Pega thing, there will be one important concept called case management. So that case management concept is not completely included in this Cosmos React. Okay, so Cosmos React will not completely support that feature. So that is the reason 99% projects today, they have to go with theme Cosmos only. Okay, so let us go with this theme today. Okay, and if any one of you still using older versions of Pega, maybe 8.5 or before that, they will be finding UI kit also. And you can create one more test project, maybe test one, that you can create it on UI kit just for the differentiation. So in the latest versions, UI kit will not be there. So for now, let me select theme Cosmos as the theme. So select theme Cosmos. Okay, let me select this theme Cosmos. Now actual screen asking for what is the name of application. So what is the name we wanted to give? BOI banking framework, correct? No, so this is the name what we wanted to provide. So define application name. After that, what we have to do? After that, what we have to do? You should not click on create application. So if you click on create application, what will happen? One application has to be created, no, but you should not click on this button directly. Before this, you have to click on this advanced configuration. So if by chance if you are clicking on this create application button, okay, you will be seeing something different behavior compared to your expectation. So even after this class, most of the people will ping me personally saying like, by mistake I have clicked on this create application. How can I make the changes reverted? These things they'll ask, which is not possible. So that is the reason, even in the real time, business analysts, they should be very cautious before they clicking on create application. So what will happen? We'll understand. So click on advanced configurations. So let us click on advanced configurations. So meaning some extra settings will be open. And here by default, what is the setting like application type? What is the application type mentioned here? Implementation. Okay. Suppose by mistake, if you click on create application, then one application will be created with this name. What will be the type for that? What will be the type? Implementation. So one wrong application is getting created, no? Okay, so if we just click on create application, as we understood, almost like hundreds of things will be created in the background. Maybe one rule has to be created with this name, and one maybe type as implementation. For that, one table has to be created, something related to JDBC connections, Tomcat related things, configuration files, n number of things will be created. And if you wanted to edit that later, so by mistake today you are creating it like an implementation, then you realize that this should be framework, and if you wanted to make any modifications accordingly, you are supposed to make modifications in all such 100 places. No? You have to make modifications in all its applicable places. Do you know where all those 100 places will be? It is very difficult. It is very difficult, meaning if an application got created in some wrong manner, you cannot make any changes on it. Even in the real time, your business analyst also cannot make any changes further. So they should be very cautious before creating application. Okay, suppose instead of BOI, by mistake if they are giving it like BOA, Bank of America, then what will happen? One application will be created with type as implementation and maybe with the name as BOA. So this is also a rule, no? Each and everything is a rule, meaning one rule has to be created, maybe display name will be as it is. And its ID should be also generated, right? For a rule, ID should be there, no? We know ID will not have spaces accepted, and ID will not be having more than maybe 5 characters or 10 characters or 15. More than fixed length, it will not be there. So there will be some restrictions for the ID generation. Maybe ID generated might be like BOA banking. So one ID also got generated. Now your business analyst realized that they have given somewhere wrong spelling mistake. Spelling mistake. Can they modify ID name? Can they modify ID of that rule? ID can never be changed, no? Then they have made some mistake in creating. So if that is the scenario, what they have to do? They cannot open each and every of those 100 rules, and they cannot modify. So 100 is just a rough figure. It is not like only 100, and that too we cannot understand, or we cannot open each and every place and check. because I'm not a network developer, or I'm not an SQL developer, or I'm not a Java developer to open each and everything and just identify and make the changes. No. So that is the reason while creating an application, naming convention and application type, everything should be defined perfectly. So if any mistake happened, maybe in the real time also, that can never be updated. So if by chance, if you click on this one, what will happen? One application will be created like implementation, what you cannot change it. Then what you are supposed to do? What you will do? You will be thinking like, I'll ignore that and create a new application. So you can do that, not a problem. So if you're trying to create one more new application, you will be giving with some correct name. So earlier you have given like BOA. Now if you give it like BOI, then perfectly it will work, not a problem. But now problem might be you are giving name correct. Okay, you are giving correct name, but here if you are defining it something like implementation, in the advanced configuration, by default what it will be showing up with implementation. No? If I click on create button, one application will be created with this name, type as implementation. That is a mistake, right? What you will do? You will try to again ignore that, and you will create new application maybe with the same name, and now you will be changing this to framework. Now if you try to create an application, it will throw the error. What is the error? What will be the error? With this name, rule is already existing. One ID will be generated, right? So this ID is already existing. You cannot create one more rule with the same ID. One more rule with the same ID. Then what you will do? You have to change the name. Maybe instead of BY, you might be changing it to ABC or XYZ in that way, which is not actually correct. So that is the reason creating applications. Okay, so this has to be done only by business analyst. Business analyst, they will be very cautious in developing all these things. So no developer will get a chance to create an application 100%. Okay, fine. Before you click on create application, you have to click on advanced configuration. You'll be getting this setting bar. Now you have to change application type to implementation. Framework. Let me change this to framework. Okay, we have changed this. Next, what we are supposed to do, if you can just understand, application ID is also showing up with some value. So now if I create one application, ID has to be generated, right? ID is also by default showing up. If you are okay with that ID, proceed. If not, if you wanted to still modify, you can just update it accordingly. Okay. And before this, how this name got generated? Actually, it is showing up with this, no? How this name got generated? How this thing got generated? Based on the application name what we provide here, right? So we are providing some application name. Based on this, ID is also getting generated. And if you observe, spaces got trimmed. That is one thing what we are observing. And here it has got with some lengthy name, but ID will be some kind of short and crisp. So it has been trimming some more than its limit. Okay, so it is showing with some truncated text, and that too with spaces and other things trimmed up. Fine. If you still wanted to modify, you can just give it like FW or something, and more than that it will not accept. I'm trying to still enter few characters, it is not accepting. But in the background application name, you can enter even 100 length word also, not at all a problem. Fine. Application ID will be in this manner. If you want, if you are okay with this, just proceed, or if not, you can still update. Okay. After this, here it is asking for some kind of organization name. You are creating one application, no? And this application is related to so and so organization. So that organization name is what you are supposed to give. So what is the organization name we are thinking of? BOI, right? BOI is what I have to create. But here, what is it showing up? It is showing with some random name. Okay, even in the real time also, it will be showing with some random organization name. You are supposed to remove this, give your organization name, then the application whatever we create, that will be linked up with our new organization name. So this is what you have to do. So organization name is mandatory. Okay, so why PRPC is giving with this as the random? Instead it can make it like completely blank, no? So why PRPC is giving with some random name and creating extra confusion for us? The real time also, if we just click on this advanced configuration, some name will be generated. All the time some random name will be generated. So what for it is giving some random name? Instead it can make everything kept blank, and then it can ask for our new organization name, right? So for that, you have to understand one thing. Now, if I'm trying to create one new application, I'll be just selecting type and I'll be entering name. Now, can I straight away click on create application? Actually, will application be created or not? Some kind of application will be created. Either it might be framework or implementation, whatever. One application has to be created, right? Some random, some dummy application. So for that kind of dummy application to be created, there should be some dummy organization name also, no? So there will be some dummy organization name by default created. So business analysts, they will be doing lot many experiments before they creating actual application. So for that, if they are straight away clicking on create application, if there is no organization name in the background, how the application to be created? So if they're straight away clicking on this, in the next screen I have to get application created successful. That's it. Meaning it has to be collecting some dummy organization name in the background. It has to be collecting some ID based on this name. And by default, it will be having some kind of application type, either framework or implementation. So default behavior, it will be showing up with some random organization name. By chance, if you click on this one directly, there should not be any organization name blank, no? That is the reason they are giving some dummy name here. But in our case, you should not go with this dummy name. So we have to give our actual organization name, and so organization name shows with some update that to BOI. So we are updating it. So BOI, right? So I'm just updating it. Now if I just tab out, observe in the below organization, sorry, in the below class structure, there is one text field, and here also it will be automatically updated. Is it getting updated automatically? So this you have to understand. So you can able to see this also getting updated. So what is happening, or what is a class, what is division, what is unit, these things you'll understand maybe after 2 days. So for now we are just giving organization name and its type, that's it. Based on that you should understand something like division name, unit name, and class structure also getting created. These things it will take almost like 2 hours discussion. So we'll understand this maybe after 2 or 3 classes. So now simply let me click on save. Now straight away we can click on this create application button. So let me click on create application. If we click on this, some kind of wizard has to be, or some kind of population job has to be running in the background, where it will be creating one application and some kind of rule for this application. Sorry, it has to be creating one table, it has to be creating a rule, and connections mapping things will be happening. Okay, so we can see one application got successfully created. Okay, so congratulations, BOA banking framework has been configured and ready for use. Clear, right? So in this way we are supposed to create one application. Similarly, to create one implementation also the same process. After this I wanted to create one loans application. Same process, everything. Application type you will be selecting like implementation, that's it, nothing more than that. And finally you will be getting the same screen there also, maybe BOA loans application. This is what the difference. Okay, fine. So once the application got created, so application got created, right? Once the application got created, actually, as a developer, we are supposed to log in into that application and design reusable things. So framework application got created. As a developer, I will be logging in. I have to create all the reusable things and I have to use it maybe into my implementation one and maybe into two, three, four according to that, right? So purpose of application creation is to log in and create something. Ante kada? Log in and create something. So if you wanted to log in there, operator ID should be existing. No? If I wanted to log in, operator ID should be there. Some login credentials should be there. So we know only administrator login. Okay, administrator login. Suppose by chance if I click on this log off, most of the people will do this. If by chance if I'm clicking on log off, what will happen? I'll be getting our common login page with blue color login page only. No? Now you have to log in. So with what operator ID you log in? Administrator. అదొకటే కదా మనకు తెలిసింది. So administrator@pega.com, with that you will log in. If you log in, will you expect that you will be getting framework application launched, or will you expect our Pega platform application launched? I have created one framework application now. Maybe I'll be creating one implementation also parallelly. Two applications, framework and implementation, both got created. Now, if I click on log off, I'll be getting login page. There you are supposed to log in with the operator ID. We know we have only one operator ID, administrator. If I log in with that, will you expect the next screen showing up will be related to framework application? Or the next screen might be related to implementation or this Pega platform application? What you'll think of? If I log in with that administrator, వచ్చే application name ఏముంటుంది?
Pega platform.
What is that? Pega platform.
Pega platform.
Okay, so Pega platform, that's it, right? Then as a developer, how to log in into implementation, how to log into loans application, or how to log into framework application? So you have to log in there, design something, screen number one, screen two, screen three, right? So you have to implement something in that application only, meaning you have to log in there. So for that there should be operator ID. No? If you wanted to get some login for that, operator ID should be there. So you are supposed to create operator IDs for every applications. So we have created one framework application, and if I wanted to access this framework application specific, then there should be one special operator ID for this. No? Okay, so you have to create operator ID here itself. Meaning at least one operator ID should be created now. Okay, at least one operator ID. If you are not creating any operator ID, if you are clicking on done or if you are clicking on log off, then you will not get this screen. Okay, you will be getting some login page. And if you are trying to log in with administrator, there you will be getting this screen. From here your loans application or some other applications cannot be accessed. This is just for creation. And if you wanted to implement anything, you have to log in into that application. For that you need to have operator ID. Okay, for that you have to get access for that. Now at least one operator ID should be there. Business analyst, what they will do here is like, after they are getting this screen, they will be creating operate ready maybe for your manager. So your manager will be getting some access for this framework now. If he is logging in with his operate ready, he has to get framework application accessed or implementation, whatever they are giving access for. So he has to get access for these applications, and if he is logging in, he can log in into this framework or implementation. From there he will create operate ready for you, meaning at least one operate ready should be there, right, for application. So if you are not creating operate ready, what is the point of creating this application? If I click on log off, how can we access this framework? Most of the people still, after this much of discussion, they will ping me personally saying like, I accidentally clicked on log off button. Then ఏం చేయాలి అప్పుడు మరి? Waste of creating this application. I'll simply ask you to create one more application, but in the background you can change it from the database. You can able to link the connections. That is not a problem, but that will be too early discussion for you. I'll not suggest it right away. I'll just say you to practice again for with one creating one more application, maybe with a different name. Okay, fine. So creating operator ID is very, very important at this point. At least one. If you create at least one, they can able to log in and they can create multiple operator IDs from there. Fine. So here we are supposed to create operator ID. Operator ID meaning whoever can access this application. Consider I am creating one loans application also. Maybe from here we are creating loans application as well. There also will be getting the same screen now, asking us to create one operator ID, right? So this loans application generally who will be using this loans application? Who all will try to log in? Initially, as a developer, we have to log in and develop, no? Meaning developers has to log in and they have to design everything, the application. After developers logged in and designing everything, next phase will be testing. Meaning testers also should log in into this, right? They might not be getting Dev Studio, but they are logging into this application and testing output, right? Meaning testers also should log in and they have to do something. Meaning operator ID should be there even for testers. Kada? For developer, they have to log in and develop, meaning operator ID should be there. For testers, they have to log in and they have to test. Operator ID should be there even for testers. And maybe after testing phase is also done, there can be something like admin settings, admin related things. Maybe some kind of deployment related things or some kind of whether emails are triggered or not. These kind of extra things or deployment related things, generally admins will be there. Okay, generally admin will be there. So admin, he has to log in into this application and he has to see some high level admin settings, meaning administrator also logs into this application. Then maybe from our Capgemini, all these three are done, these three tasks are done. Next it has to be going to the bank, no? Bank employees has to use this, right? This application will be used by original bank employees, meaning they are considered like users. So the real users, they are also supposed to log in into our application and their actual customer registration and other things has to be done, meaning users also will be using this. After the real users, what will happen? Maybe if I'm a bank employee, I'll be registering a customer. Then I'll be completing all the screens. And after that, I'll ask him to wait for 2 to 3 working days for the complete activation. What will happen in this 2 to 3 days? So this request might be going for deputy manager approval. And then one more level, maybe manager's approval. Maybe one more level, something like regional manager. They can either approve or reject whatever, meaning they are also logging in. So my application is being used even by the managers. Okay, so considering all these things, you have to understand like roles. What will be the roles in our Pega application? So there will be how many roles? How many roles? 4. 5 కాదు 4. ఎందుకంటే tester is also nothing but an user. Okay, if you join one company as a Pega tester, what you are supposed to do? Day 1 you will be getting the URL and you will be getting one login page. Operator ID creation will happen generally. So if you log in with your operator ID, what will be the output screen? So what will be the next screen? The next screen will be like, the next screen will be some kind of screen what a real bank employee will be getting. No, they're testers. Testers in the sense they are supposed to be considering themselves as the real users and they have to test. Okay, they will test everything and then they will be considering themselves as the real managers, and they will just check there whether this is coming for approval or rejection or not. So tester is nothing but some kind of user or some kind of manager role, అంతకు మించి ఏమీ లేదు. So for our Pega application, whatever application you create in Pega, every application will have 4 roles. Very important. Every application will have 4 roles. In interest they'll ask you. And developer, admin, user, manager. So developer, there is one technical word that is called author. Author. So 4 roles in Pega: author role, admin role, user role, and manager role. Okay, fine. Author is nothing but a developer. So if you join company and if I'm your manager, I have to create operator ID for you. So for your operator ID, I have to tag something role. No, you might be a tester or developer. You are joining my team, meaning developer, meaning what should be the role to be tagged for you? Author. Okay, so author is the role to be tagged. Fine. Maybe I'm a bank manager. I don't know anything about Pega. I'm a bank manager. If you're joining my bank, maybe as like a cashier or clerk, whatever, then day 1 you are supposed to do something, right? Maybe creating application, creating customers or registration, whatever. So you are supposed to be getting one operator ID. No, you might not know that the technical word is operator ID, or even I might not be knowing, but in the background technical word is operator ID. So what you will do, what you'll ask me? You'll ask me some kind of login to be created. Then 2 options will be there. So I can be given access by Pegasystems team to create operator ID for you. If I'm having little knowledge to create operator IDs, then it will be given access for me as a bank manager. Without I knowing anything about Pega, I will be getting a form where I can enter your name, maybe your email ID, email, mobile number, all these things, and create one operator ID for you. That is one thing. And in this process, I'll be selecting the role for you as like user. Antena? So we are supposed to select the role like an user. So one way is like the real employee can able to create operator ID, or else as a bank manager I can ask my production support team. As we understood, production support team will be continuously working with the real users. No, I can straight away ask my production support team saying like one new person joined our bank, maybe like a cashier, need one operator ID for you. Then straight away they will create it for you. Okay, so we are understanding that there will be 4 roles in Pega, and 4 roles will be this. Now the operator ID whatever we create, so that should be having 4 options actually. Huh? But you'll be finding only one. I'll be creating one operator ID, and here how many roles we are seeing? Only one. Actual roles will be total 4, but while creating we'll see only one role. So this will be your interview question. Okay, so why are we finding only one? Why not all the 4? That we'll understand in tomorrow's class. Okay, fine. In this discussion today we're understanding how to create one application. So we have just created application but without operator ID. We did not create operator ID. Okay, so I suggest you not to create this application also for today, because if you create application today, what you have to either click on log off or done, right? You have to click on log off or done. Then waste of creating this application, no? So I suggest you wait for today's class also not to create anything, because if you create anything and if you got stuck at this screen, maybe till the next class you have to keep the same screen, kada? Waste. So just wait for today's class, and after tomorrow's class you'll understand how to create operator ID and how to log in with that. Okay, that we'll talk tomorrow.